Namaste, Adab, Sat Shri Akal. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, My PhD Life. Anyone who's joining our family as a new member, this is Navjot Kaur and you have landed on my channel where we talk about the PhD program, how you can build a career in research, what kind of things researchers do around the world and many such things. So if you're in for any such information or want to know more about the field of research, welcome to My PhD Life. So there have been a few people who've been commenting on the videos asking me about where did I do my bachelor's from, where did I do my PhD from, what was my gate rank and things like that. Well, there's a dedicated video which helps you know me better on my channel. I'll provide the link in the description box and you can see it up here. But I thought I'll talk about all these things once in this video. I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering from Punjab University. Post that I worked for a year as a design engineer and then I gave my GATE in 2016 and my all India rank was 64 in chemical engineering. Post that I joined PhD at the Indian Institute of Science, IISc Bangalore, and I am in the phase of completing my PhD now. I have submitted my thesis and waiting for reviewer comments. So now that you know about me, let's know what is this video going to be about. So this was one of the requests I got in the comments section where I was asked to talk about how could students manage problems or issues with their guides and have a cordial relationship. Guides meaning their PhD advisor, the professor with whom they're working for their PhD. And I thought it's quite a crucial point to be talked about and for students to know what are the things that they could do to have a more congenial relationship with their professors and not go through a bad phase or multiple bad phases through their PhD just because they have friction with their professor or their tuning is not so good. And that's what we are going to talk about in this video. So I'm dividing the video in two sections. The first section will have my top 3 tips on how you can avoid having issues with your professor. What are the kind of things you could do? What is the kind of homework you could do before making a choice on who should be your PhD advisor? And what are the other things you could do once you've made that choice so that you avoid having conflicts with your professor? So that will be the first part. And in the second part, I'll talk about, okay, we are human, all of us can have conflicts, not like each other, not like each other's thoughts or decisions, and once you're stuck in that phase, what are the kind of things you could do to get out of that and then sail through your PhD? And I feel both these parts are not just limited to PhD scholars, but anyone in the world actually, because every day we deal with so many humans on professional and personal level. And it's really important to understand these intricacies which could help us make our lives easier. So if you're not interested in a PhD, not interested in a research career, but still here, I think there's still a lot for you in this video. So keep watching. Cool. I'll start with my top 3 tips which you could follow to avoid having conflicts with your PhD professor or your boss at a professional workplace. And the first one, which is more valid in case of PhD students and not so much when you're joining a company and you already have a pre-assigned boss, so you don't have much choice there. But PhD scholars mostly have this liberty to choose their PhD advisor. I have made a dedicated video on this topic as to what are the factors that students should consider while making this choice, while selecting their PhD advisor and their PhD project. You can access it below. I'll provide the link in the description box. And please go through that video and the factors that I talk about so that you make this decision well. So you do your homework well when you're choosing your PhD advisor, because that onus is on you. And that's the first tip I want to give so that you can avoid getting linked or getting into a project with a professor who might not be like you, whose working style might not be like yours, and that obviously is going to create a lot of problems for you. So first tip, do your homework and find the right advisor for yourself. The second tip is understand the working style and expectations of your PhD advisor. Now, if you did your homework well in the first part, then you would have known that Professor ABC in the department sort of wants a daily update on the work and is there on your desk every day to ask you what you did. While Professor XYZ is a little more lenient and, weekly updates are fine. While there's another PQR who really doesn't, come and check on you, and it is you who has to go to him or her and talk about the progress. So these are the different kinds of PhD advisors that you will come across. And if you're doing your homework well, then you should have figured out what is it that will work for you. Are you someone who needs checks on every day or a weekly basis, or you want to be let free? And based on that, you should make that choice. So that comes in the part of selection. Now that you've selected your advisor, in the initial phases, have multiple meetings with them as it suits your schedule and theirs, and figure out what is it that they're expecting from you as a graduate student. And very, very important, communicate to them what is it that you're looking for in your PhD. Many students have many different motivations to do a PhD. We have talked about a lot on this channel. So please communicate to your advisor what is it that you are expecting, why are you in the program, and understand what are their expectations from you. So this second tip will also help you sort of come to common grounds, be on the same page, and hence avoid conflicts. My third and very, very important tip is that stick to your commitments, and please stick to deadlines and commitments that you make to your professor. So if the lab is such that the hours for coming into the lab and leaving from the lab and the working hours are fixed, and you have consciously chosen that lab, then please stick to that. If you're in a lab where what matters is the amount of work that you have done, and when you come and when you go is not that big a concern, congratulations, you have chosen what you like. But make sure that whatever kind of environment you've gotten yourself into, try to comply to it, because this is something that you chose on your own. So be conscious while making that decision. Homework is very important. And any other commitments that you make to your professor, if you're expected to give some results by some time, if you're expected to write a manuscript and submit it, if you're expected to write a report or a project report that he has to give ahead for his funding, all of these are your responsibilities. And if you have made a commitment and you stick to it, that sort of builds your rapport much better with your professor, and he or she starts valuing you more because you're true to your word and commitment. So that's a very important factor to keep in mind to avoid conflicts with your professor. Obviously, if you're sticking to deadlines, doing your job better, then your professor really doesn't have much reasons to crib about, right? While I've emphasized on all the three important factors that I think are necessary to avoid conflicts, and as was admitted by Dr. Murthy Gudipati from NASA in one of the videos on the Science Chat show on my channel, that there are good apples and bad apples in the academic system, and it could be that you're doing all that you can do and all that's in your hands to avoid conflicts with your professor. There are professors who just chase you like anything, want you to follow unrealistic deadlines, are behind your backs for work, or there could be other interpersonal skills that they lack, and those create issues in the lab. And I feel really sorry for you if you're stuck in such a situation. But that is why, again, I go back to point one: do your homework well. If there is such a bad apple in the system, there would be news about the bad apple. So please make sure that while you're making this decision of choosing your mentor, you collect this sort of information. Sometimes this information is not available, or students who are already stuck in that lab are not that vocal to express their concerns, and that's just bad luck. But if you try hard enough, I think you will know all the details, and you will know which are the bad apples in the system that you should be wary of. Great. Now we have talked about things that you could do to avoid conflicts with your professor. But guess what? You missed on some of them. Or even if you did all of them, there are some unfortunate scenarios where stress builds up on your professor for some deadlines, or you're not feeling well due to some other personal issues, or your work not going well. And in all such cases, you might not be able to say stick to deadlines or stick to the commitments that you make, and that could give rise to conflicts. And the next 3 pointers are going to be about how do you handle such negative situations. My first and super important tip is that you have to learn to handle these issues professionally. It will be really nice if students or PhD scholars start realizing or start behaving as working professionals rather than students. That sort of takes you one notch up in the eyes of the supervisor, the PhD advisor, because they see that, okay, this person means business and is here for work and takes no bullshit or crap. And that sort of, gives an impression on your PhD advisor that they also have to be professional with you. They also have to commit to what they say to you. And then it becomes a two-way road rather than you just giving all of your best shots and then not getting reciprocated. There's a difference between how a student carries themselves and how professionals carry themselves, and that gap sort of has to be bridged to be able to handle disagreements professionally, where I don't start crying or I don't be annoyed when my professor says something that I don't agree with. Rather, I think about it objectively and decide whether it's something that's in line with what I'm thinking, and if not, then I know what's the proper way and decorum of communicating what I am feeling. The next thing in the list of things you could do once you have gotten into a negative situation is to focus on solving the problem. Many times what happens is that students go into this loop of complaining about their advisors. My advisor always does this, my advisor always does that, they don't understand this, they don't understand that, they have done this to me, they have done that to me. And you'll share this story with your lab mates, with your friends, with people in the mess, people in the hostel, at your home, some other friends out from outside the college that you're in. And while sharing is important, venting it out is very important. Don't let the stress and anxiety build inside you, but don't go into this loop. Once you have shared this incident or a feeling that you're having with, say, 2 or 3 people, your focus should come back on solving that problem and not creating a new problem of discussing problems about your advisor with other people. And that's a very common thing that happens to students. Even if you're stuck with a bad apple, going into this loop unfortunately is not going to be helpful, and it's going to take you into a more negative space. So always keep your focus on solving the problem. If there's a disagreement that you have on what kind of experiments you should do to test a particular parameter, think about it objectively. Come up with logics that you think, if you disagree with your professor's idea, come up with logics that scientifically prove that what you're saying is more correct or more appropriate in the situation that you're in than what your advisor is advocating for. Similarly, any point where you are at such a situation where there's disagreement, try to focus only on finding solutions and not on spending your energy on the problem that is created and discussing the problem that is created and sort of not looking at the solutions. Discussions with others only help if they are helping you find a solution. Otherwise, it's gonna just waste your time and add more negative energy in your thoughts and in your head. And my final mantra and most important mantra, which you should maybe write on a sheet of paper and put it on your desk in the lab, put it on your almirah in your hostel, is that it's your PhD and no one else's. It's not your advisor's PhD. It is not your department's chairperson's PhD. It is not a PhD of any other faculty member in your department. It's not your parents' PhD. It's not your friend's PhD. It's your PhD. And whatever happens is eventually going to fall on you. If you take a lot of time to finish your PhD, you've crossed all the deadlines, there are very rare chances that there'll be repercussions on the professors, but you would have lost many years of your life struggling to get a degree, personal life will be a mess, and a lot of other things. So please, whenever you're stuck in negative situations, stuck in disagreements with your advisor, the top priority in your head should always be that it's your PhD and it matters to you. So you have to make it work. That doesn't mean that you start doing stupid things or you give up on your values or you just become a yes boss person and do whatever your guide says. I'm not saying any of these. No, I'm not saying any of these. What I'm saying is, whenever you're stuck in a problem or a disagreement, focus on solution because it's your PhD. Extending that heated argument, extending that bad mood, losing 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 5 hours of work because of all of this, or stopping interaction with your professor because of a bad experience, all of that is only going to affect your PhD and it is only your responsibility. So be positive, be constructive, and try to always find out ways which minimize conflict. Again, that doesn't mean that you become a yes boss person. Be objective and scientific in your approach. Have logic in what you say whenever you disagree, and mostly if you are with a reasonable person, then it's gonna work. So I hope all the tips in this video come in handy for all the PhD students who are already in PhD programs. First, I hope that you don't need these and you have a very positive and polite relationship with your PhD advisor. But we have hard times in all sorts of relationships, right? We fight with our mother, we fight with our father, we fight with our boyfriends, sisters, brothers, everyone. So it's possible that you have disagreements with your PhD advisors. Give them space and respect as well. They are also human. They also have deadlines. They also have responsibilities, families, and that can also build up stress on them. So give them a break as well. But yeah, I hope the tips help. And if there's anything that you're struggling with specifically and you want me to talk about it or help you out, leave the comment or the concern in the comment box below and I'll get back to you on that. the COVID situation is really serious, and there are cases, countless cases coming up every single day. I hope all of you are taking good care of yourself. Take good diets, maintain social distancing, have your masks on, sanitize your hands, and let's try to send away this pandemic soon. Take care, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.